Okay. Oh, all right now. I'm self-taught. You streamer 1828. I'm self-taught too. I think we all are. But what I was getting at when I was talking about, I say
I've only
Jurassic
been
John,
taught by others.
talking about other people. Now I was saying, who would teach you how to have, intimate relationships in a proper world like back in the day, in the caveman days, or did you just watch it there at night? I was reading a book the other day, and it was actually about these people who were like, they were in prison kind of thing, and they said, hey, what do you say? And the little girl was watching the adults do it, you know what I mean? Because it was all just a gang prison, and it was like, it was natural, it was normal. So it's interesting how we put it behind closed doors, isn't it? Here comes God.
There's a woman in Canada that she does like a sex talk show.
Right.
I think her
It's not Sue.
Sue.
The older lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex with Sue.
Yeah.
Diddly ding. You ever heard of Sex with Sue, guys?
And I don't know if look it up on the internet, but she would. Well, I know it all, but she was kind of like not very intimidating, and she would talk to people, and they could kind of listen to her easier
because she was good.
Because she would just kind of say things.
She lays it on the line,
and,
She says, yes, you can do this, you can do that. But really, when you think about it, the things that she says, it's like, wow. Because she's pretty bold. I mean, I don't even want to say the things that she says. And she's like this old lady.
At the age, she doesn't care what she says. Most old people, they're
they
fine.
get to a point where they don't really give a hoot and nanny about what they say. They've seen it all come and go. I think before you get married, you should see if you're sexually compatible. Well, I think so. I mean, I would have to say that's a good bet. But then it changes like the wind. Yes, and you never know your friend. Anyway, yeah, it's tricky. I think that living together before you get married is a good idea. What do we think about that? What do people think about it? I mean, of course, it seems like most people do it nowadays, but I think still some people don't. I mean, is it obvious? Is it a gimme? You don't get married for sex, laugh out loud. No, you don't. But compatibility is good. It's something that you've got to deal with in life, right? Compatibility. But should people live together before they get married? Jason says yes. My mouth says, didn't she have this? Right. Right. So we're saying the idea is people should. Right. Intimacy. Right. Well, you should basically be a lot more compatible than just sexually. That's right. It's all one package, isn't it? What do we do? The puppets dream of sex. Let's ask. The puppets dream of sex, Ronaldo, because we wondered, and I just wonder. They do when they see someone like me on the screen, color. Anyway, get me out of there. Yes, but Jason, sex is a big part of a marriage. It's true, because it's a lot with me and you. Heelzo, you're not married yet. What do you think? Do you think people should live together before they get married? I know you're out there, Heelzo. Come on. Is sex good before marriage? Yeah, but love is what makes it good. Well, this is the thing. If you were talking about love and sex kind of being, a kind of a, like I said earlier, you don't want to lose your mind over maybe your very first experience kind of thing. And we were saying that. So how much of love is emotional, spiritual, and how much of it is also connected to things like, pheromones, as God wants to put it. It's an interesting question, I mean, but I guess everyone does it their own way, and that's basically all you can do, which is fine, really, isn't it? I mean. Anyway, I do believe in living together with each other. Yeah. Hiozo says, hey, are you married, Hiozo? You're not married. Let's see what Hiozo says. Hiozo, do you think people should live together before they get married? What about premarital sex? I mean, is it the normal thing today? Is it not? Who knows? We gotta find out what you think of it. Now that I'm married, I never have sex. You gotta fix that, baby. If it's sex that you're missing, yes, you gotta fix that, baby. You know what I mean? The honest conversation will take you a long way. That's what I was saying. Like, you don't sit down at the dinner table and say, well, what about sex, You don't confer with your couple friends about their sex life, and you don't confer with your parents really about it. So it's like this secret kind of, civilization. Nobody wants to talk about it, right? And it's always funny. And then it's kind of viewed as crass, I mean, it's a little bit taboo. It's a taboo to just bring up your sex life in any setting, really, unless you're paying somebody to listen to you, which is not going to really bring you any honesty anyway, right? Because it's a paid, anyway. Kevin says, now, if they were married, they were 5 years before their marriage. Yeah, there you go. Sure, a good, healthy, long time to be together before you get married. Diddly ding. Who knows? What happens there? Jason says, I mean, living together goes along with having sex before marriage, but having sex before being married is just to see if you're compatible is silly talk, diddly ding. That's like saying if you don't Use it, it will fall off. Diddly ding. This is what they say. This is what all the prostate guys are saying, eh? They didn't use it, it fell off. Diddly ding. Anyway, but you know, I mean, it's true. It's always like, you know, Kevin's back. Kevin does Dallas. There's the guy. Sure, Kevin. Because you guys had that conversation months ago, except I think it ended up hurting Nolan's feelings. I don't know. Anyway, color, here we go. Give me some poetry. Someone write some poetry. We laugh out loud. And a donkey. Kevin does puppets. Puppets do Kevin. You know what I mean? Everyone does Kevin. I used to know a guy named Kevin Blevin. Can you imagine? They're your last name. Actually, I think it was Blevins. But like, you know, your family name is Blevins. So what you name your son? Kevin. You know? Talk about, yeah, Kevin Jr. and Kevin too. You're right, Kevin's Blevins. Damn. Yeah, I think that was one of the worst names that anyone ever told me their name was. You know when people tell you their name and you go, what? But what's your name? Kevin Blevins. I said, jeez, man. It's just like kneeing your kid in the nuts before he's born. You know what I mean? Like just before he's born, you send a little spore in there, right in the bags, right in the nutsack. Tech Freak, what's going on over there? If you want to know what you're talking about, Heelzo has been in the house here. Heelzo sends us a laugh. What's going on with you, Heelzo? Have you been taking pictures of the world around you? Yes, you're never gonna get those tube thumbnails if you don't get the babe on, baby. You're right, but we can just have a tube thumbnail, right? We don't have to have the whole show, diddly dinger. But you're right. Ooh, we laugh out loud with mom. Say my mama, take a holiday. Come on, take a holiday with me, yeah, yeah. Oh, with me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Take a holiday, do. Take a holiday, yeah, baby. Oh, come on. We laugh out loud with fun. Yes, TechFreak says, I purchased a Mac Mini. I'm used to using PC. Right. It's a little different world, isn't it? I found when I switched from PC to Mac, it was like, oh, this is a lot easier. That's what I found, you know. I mean, it seemed like diddly thing, but then it was a much better machine too. You can't really compare it because I had this old junker PC, you know, that was amazing that it even worked, you know, for what I was doing with it. And then, of course, I got a brand new Mac, you know, back when this thing was still brand new. It was like, diddly ding. But Mac has kind of got a nice philosophy, I find, you know, I mean, although, whatever, you know, Macs, Minis, this and that, who knows. Jason says, Tech Freak says, Mac Minis aren't too powerful. Now, what are you trying to do with it, Tech Freak, that what made you buy a Mini, you know, because it's kind of, sounds like it could be small. Anyway, Jason says, we are using a quad-core, yeah, what is it, Xeon? Yeah, with 4 gigs, and it still slows down quite often. I know. I mean, diddly ding. It breaks your heart too when this computer that we're doing the show on gives us a hard time. It's like, I will never have a computer that can do my own shows in my house, in my bedroom, talking about sex with people who don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Anyways, Jason's doing very well for what I've been using. Yes. Oh, good. So what have you, GarageBand and iMovie? Well, of course it will. Diddly ding. But you know, when you do iMovie, you know, you're basically at the very basic bottom of the video editing software that's out there. So if you get good at iMovie and you sort of start to see things that you could do with it, because what happens is when you start to understand software, you start to see the shortcomings of it, especially if you get a look at something like Final Cut, which was what we're using, you know. And you can go look at Final Cut online, actually, Final Cut dot whatever, you know what I mean, and see what kind of stuff you can do. And it's like, whoa. When you see that, you think, I gotta get that, you know. iMovie is like, because I did something on iMovie just one time because I didn't have the Final Cut on here, and I was like, diddly ding. But yeah, it's like night and day. But to run something a little more juicy, it could be tricky. But you know, you can still make fun stuff on iMovie. Don't get me wrong. I use Adobe Premiere and After Effects on the PC, right? So you know what you're doing. Okay, so you've got your stuff. Sometimes I get these little build-ups. I have zero musical talent, so I wanted you to try my hand making some tunes. Oh yeah, in GarageBand you can make some great tunes. I'll tell you a little bit about that right after this message.